Did you know in just the past 18 months, the price of more than 100 everyday essentials in the US has doubled, yet most shoppers never noticed? We are not talking about luxury goods, but the things you pick up every week or every month, right? Where you thought prices would stay steady, Costco and Walmart. For years, we trusted these two retail giants to be stable. But now the very items that once felt cheap and reliable are quietly draining your budget. And no one is warning you. No labels, no alerts, no voices speaking up. If you are living on a pension, government assistance, or a fixed income, this list is something you cannot ignore. Because this is not about market trends. This is about every single time you open your wallet and feel it getting lighter. Here are 7 essentials that may already be costing you twice as much at Costco and Walmart without you even realizing it. Number 1. Toilet paper. When was the last time you actually checked the price of toilet paper? Chances are you haven't. For years it was that automatic item, no second thoughts, no comparisons. You just toss it in the cart, confident the price hadn't changed. But now a Kirkland pack that used to cost under $18 is pushing close to $30. And what makes it worse is that you are not even getting the same amount anymore. The rolls are smaller, the sheets are thinner, and the package still boldly says 30 rolls as if nothing has changed. But you know it is not the same. This is not just inflation. It is the direct result of new tariffs on imported pulp and the skyrocketing cost of cross-border shipping. And what does that mean for you? You are paying nearly double for something you once thought you would never have to worry about. The bigger problem is that no one tells you. No warning from Costco or Walmart. No little note on the packaging. The changes creep in quietly, steadily, like a slow leak draining your wallet. And if you are living on a fixed budget, every single dollar matters. Toilet paper is not like coffee or candy. You cannot cut back on it. You cannot replace it with something else. That is why it hits you harder without you realizing it. You keep buying the same brand, the same package, feeling like you are still in control of your spending, until you suddenly wonder, why am I running out so fast? Why is the bill so high? If it feels like things are running out quicker than they used to, you are probably not imagining it. You might be right, and you might have already been blindsided by the one product you thought was harmless. Are you noticing the same thing? Do you remember what that pack used to cost? Have you caught the sheets getting thinner lately if you have speak up? Because you are probably not the only one. And if toilet paper can already shock you like this, the next item on the list will make you think twice. It is the medicine you once grabbed without hesitation every flu season. But now you find yourself counting every dollar before reaching for it on the shelf. Number 2. OTC medicine. Have you ever stood in front of the medicine aisle at Walmart or Costco, picked up a bottle of Tylenol, and then put it back? Not because you didn't need it, but because for the first time in years you hesitated. Something so familiar, so ordinary that you always thought it would be within reach. A bottle of cold medicine pain relievers allergy pills. Names you have known long before QR codes ever existed. And yet today they feel like the kind of purchase you debate over the way you would a winter coat. In the past 12 months, over-the-counter medicine has crept up in price quietly but steadily. A bottle of Zyrtec that once sold for under $10 now hovers close to $19. Tylenol Extra Strength or Advil liquid gels can easily hit $15 even higher if you buy the combo packs. No one makes noise about it. No big signs posted on the shelves. And those old buy one get one deals gone. The irony is these are the very medications older adults need most. People struggling with arthritis, allergies, muscle aches, or sleepless nights. Folks who cannot afford to wait 4 days for a doctor's appointment and a prescription. They need relief right away just to carry on with daily life. Now every single pill feels like a math problem. For experts, the rise in OTC prices is not surprising. The cost of importing pharmaceutical ingredients from India and China has spiked under new tariff rules. Add in packaging, domestic shipping, and storage, and the math makes sense on paper. But to the average shopper, especially someone living month to month on a fixed income, none of that is explained. All they see is the same little bottle on the shelf, except the price tag keeps changing, and it changes fast. The harsh truth is that OTC medicine is not something you buy in bulk for later. You only buy it when you need it, and when you need it, there is no other option. You cannot haggle, you cannot wait for prices to fall. You cannot swap it out for generic if your body only responds to a certain formula. So when prices climb, you either pay up or you suffer through the pain, the sneezing, or another sleepless night. Some might say just cut the dose in half or switch to something cheaper, but you know better. The body of a 65-year-old with back pain and pollen allergies is not something you can experiment with. The real question is, why are the things we need most becoming the hardest to afford? Plenty of people admit they have given up on the medicines they once trusted. They tell themselves to tough it out or go to bed early instead of taking a pill for the headache. And what is frightening is how normal this is starting to feel. We are slowly accepting medicine as a luxury rather than the basic care it used to be. Are you doing the same? Have you ever looked at the price tag of your usual allergy pills each spring and walked away because they no longer felt affordable? Have you found yourself buying a 20 count instead of a 40 count, just to save a little? If so, do not stay silent, because once we start treating these price hikes as normal, the next thing taken away might not be just medicine. And if a small pill can already force you to count every single dollar, wait until you see item number 3 on this list. It is not in your medicine cabinet at all. It is sitting right next to your washing machine. Number 3, laundry detergent. Next time you are at Costco or Walmart, do not just grab a bottle of detergent like you always do. Hold it with both hands. Not because it is heavier, but because the price is heavy enough to knock you back. Some things we assumed would always stay the same, like the fresh scent of clean clothes or the laundry brand you have trusted for a decade. But then one day you go back for your usual jumbo bottle of Tide, and you freeze at the price tag. Out of nowhere, it has jumped to $23. It is no longer that cheap necessity. Now it is something that makes you stop and think, do I really need this brand anymore? You know the difference between Tide and the cheaper options. Tide does not leave residue, does not irritate skin, and is powerful enough to clean a whole family's laundry with just one capful. But here is what you did not expect. The very reasons you stayed loyal are now the reasons you might have to walk away. The spike in detergent prices is not exactly shocking. Chemical ingredients, fragrances, plastic packaging, container shipping. They are all going up. What makes it frustrating is that no one tells you this when you are holding the bottle in your hand. You just see the new price. And you wonder, why didn't I notice sooner? And it is not only the price. Formulas are changing too. Many detergents are watered down compared to before, or adjusted with cheaper ingredients, yet the price stays the same. Some people have noticed the scent does not last as long, or more residue shows up, especially with cold washes. Little details like that force you to use more each load, which means you run out faster and buy sooner. That cycle eats away at your wallet without you even realizing it. For seniors or anyone on a tight budget, detergent is not something you can simply cut back on. Clothes still need washing, sheets still need cleaning. These everyday chores cannot wait just because detergent costs more. Yet the rising price does force changes, switching from the trusted brand to a cheaper one, a no-name brand, or something that could even trigger allergies. Some people go back to powdered detergent. Others try the all-in-one pods, hoping to save. But eventually, many return to what they used before, only to find the price has climbed even higher. The disappointment is not just about paying a few dollars more. It is about losing trust in the brands that once gave you peace of mind. The things you thought were safe, steady, unshakable. Have you felt that before? When something so small, so ordinary suddenly becomes a money drain you never saw coming. Have you ever stood there weighing one good bottle of detergent against 2 bags of rice? If you have, it does not mean you are weak. It means the system has shifted so fast that even the basics are slipping out of reach. And if laundry detergent can force you to choose between clean clothes and saving money, then the next item on this list will hit even harder. Because it is not for you, but for someone smaller in the family. Someone who has no idea what things cost, but will feel the consequences if you can no longer afford to give them a proper meal. Number 4. Pet food. If you have a dog or a cat, you probably understand this. Sometimes the only thing that makes your home feel alive is the sound of paws, the bark from the living room, or the little purring noise in the kitchen corner. And if that is true, then you also know the heavy feeling of standing in front of the pet food aisle at Walmart, staring at the bag you always buy that now costs nearly twice as much, and asking yourself, what can I cut back on so my pet can still eat the same? In just over a year, dry food brands like Blue Buffalo, Kirkland, and IAMS have jumped from around $24 to more than $40. Some grain-free varieties, the ones chosen because of allergies or picky eaters, now sit at $55 with no change in weight or quality. No one points it out to you, no annual sale signs, no warnings about how ingredients like chicken fish meal or fish oil are being hit by import tariffs, higher shipping costs from South America or Asia, or reduced staff at U.S. plants. It is just you and the pet waiting for dinner like always. Plenty of people try switching to cheaper food only to discover their pets refuse to eat it. Or worse, they eat it and end up with diarrhea, vomiting, or lethargy. So they go back to the old brand, now at a price that forces them to sacrifice some other part of their budget. Some cut back on eating out. Some give up their morning coffee. Some even start cooking for their dogs with leftover rice and frozen meat. Not because it is some trendy, healthy lifestyle, but simply because they cannot afford to feed their pets the way they used to. And the hardest part? You cannot tell your pet that you are struggling. You cannot explain to a dog that the same bag of food costs twice as much as last time. All it knows is hunger, mealtime, looking up at you with trusting eyes, and you are the one left with the choice. This is no longer just about rising prices. It is about a quiet, ruthless stripping away of the little moments that many people living alone cling to. For some, a pet is not just a pet. It is the only friend they have left. The reason they get up, go outside, and come back home. Have you ever picked the cheaper bag? Tried cooking for your dog because you could not afford the packaged food anymore? Have you felt angry, powerless when the one thing you wanted to keep the same for them turned into yet another thing you had to rethink? If you have, you are not alone. And sadly, the next item on this list will feel even more ironic, because it is what keeps the smallest devices in your home alive, from the TV remote to your hearing aid. But now, even turning on the TV or clearly hearing a familiar voice has become another cost that makes you hesitate. Number 5. Batteries. No one ever thought the day would come when buying batteries felt like a financial decision, but that day is here, quietly, steadily, without any warning. Not long ago, you could walk into Walmart, grab a 20-pack of Duracell Pay under $13 and not give it a second thought. Now that same brand, that same familiar packaging can run you $24 or more. And when you look down at the box, it is no longer 20 batteries. Sometimes it is 16, sometimes just 12. This is a kind of price hike that does not need ads or big announcements. It slips in unnoticed and strikes where you least expect it. The TV remote dies. The alarm clock goes dark at midnight. A hearing aid stops working in the middle of a conversation. And suddenly you, the one who thought you were always prepared, feel out of step. All because of a dead battery. Battery production costs have been hit hard by soaring lithium and zinc prices after tariffs on imports from China and South America. But do shoppers get that explanation? No. All they see is the same package on the shelf that looks just like last year's. The only difference is the price tag shooting up and the battery count shrinking. You are never told. You only notice when you open the package at home and see fewer than you remember. For younger folks, this might be just an inconvenience. But for older adults, for anyone who relies on batteries for medical devices, or for those who cannot easily make multiple trips to the store, this can be the last straw. When your blood pressure monitor flashes low battery, when your hearing aid suddenly goes silent, when your ceiling fan remote no longer responds, you cannot just say, "I'll deal with it tomorrow." There is no way to save batteries if you need them to check the time to keep your home running. And what makes it worse is knowing you cannot bargain with the retail system. There is no buy one, get one, no clearance rack. The choice is simple: buy them or go without. Have you ever hesitated in front of the battery display? Ever thought, wait a second, 12 batteries for nearly $25? Ever walked away only to come back days later and pay even more? If you have, then you already know you are living in a reality that feels nothing like it used to. And the unsettling part is, if something as small as batteries has become a burden, how many other items are still waiting to be discovered on those monthly bills that keep stretching further and further? And the list does not stop here. The next item feels even more ironic. It is not flashy or luxurious, not high-tech, not even special in any way. It is just trash bags. But now every time you throw one out, you feel that lump in your throat knowing you just ripped another piece out of your monthly budget. Number 6. Trash bags. There is a kind of expense that leaves people frustrated, yet with no one to complain to paying money just to throw garbage away. Not paying for spoiled food, not for broken items, but for the bag itself. A bag you use for a few minutes, then send straight to the landfill. And now the price of those bags is making shoppers stop in their tracks at Costco. A box of Kirkland trash bags used to cost around $14 to $16 for 100 bags. In less than a year, that number has climbed to nearly $27, even $29, with the same count and according to many worse quality. You can skip a snack, you can push back a dinner out, but you cannot stop throwing trash away. It is non-negotiable. Which is why when trash bag prices spike, consumers have no choice but to grit their teeth and pay. What makes it sting even more is the feeling of being cornered. No one warned you, no one asked you, and of course, no one apologized. Trash bags, something that never felt worth the money, now cost nearly as much as a full meal at a casual restaurant. The question is, since when did getting rid of garbage become as expensive as sitting down for dinner? For seniors, for people living alone, or for anyone balancing every dollar of a fixed budget? This price hike is more than an annoyance. It is a painfully clear symbol of helplessness. You are paying to throw away what you do not need. And every time you pull a bag from the bin, you know you just tore another piece out of your monthly budget. Some switch to cheaper off-brand bags, but then they find out those bags are thinner, tear halfway through, or leak. And when you end up using 2 bags to do the work of one, the savings vanish. Sometimes it becomes an expensive lesson learned in just one try. Have you ever felt the absurdity of spending $30 just to throw trash away? Ever picked up a box of bags and thought, if I am not keeping this, why am I paying for it like it is something valuable? That feeling is real. And it hits even harder when you think about the dozens of times each month you pull out a bag, from the box, from the bin, from your budget, and get nothing back in return. If it feels like every small item in your home is suddenly making you stop and think you are right, you are living in a new reality. A reality where the things you never imagined would matter have become the biggest burdens. And the irony is the list is still not done. Because there is one more item you use several times a day. To wipe your hands, wipe the counter, wipe your mouth. But now every sheet you tear feels like you are tearing directly into your retirement check. Number 7. Paper towels and napkins. Have you ever stood in front of the paper towels and napkins aisle and felt like you accidentally wandered into the luxury goods section? Paper towels, the rolls you use to wipe spills, dry your hands, soak up grease, used to be the kind of purchase you never thought twice about. You just grabbed a Kirkland 12-pack, tossed it into the cart, and knew you were set for months. But now you pick up that same pack, see the price hitting $22 to $25, and suddenly you start asking yourself, is it really worth it? Paper towels are one of those price hikes that fly under the radar. Not as loud as beef, not as controversial as gas, but they are something you use every single day. Wiping down the counter, drying your hands, catching the last bit of moisture on dishes, cleaning your mouth when you do not use cloth napkins. They are tied to habits of cleanliness and order, especially for older adults, for people living alone, for anyone who grew up in a household where tidiness was second nature. But those small, ordinary habits are now under threat from something not so small. Rising paper costs, packaging costs, shipping costs, and higher import tariffs on raw materials all piling up. And it is not just a few cents more. It is enough to make each sheet you tear feel like a decision. Plenty of people have already started rationing their paper towels, tearing off half a sheet, only using them when absolutely necessary. Some have even gone back to washable cloth towels, the very thing they gave up years ago, because paper seemed more convenient and more hygienic. Do you feel that too, that you are adjusting the tiniest parts of your daily routine just to keep your budget from breaking? That even drying your hands after a meal now comes with a pause as you glance at the roll and think twice before pulling. This is not a small thing, because when the smallest comforts get squeezed, it slowly reshapes how we live. If you have ever found yourself hesitating at the paper towel aisle comparing napkin brands just to shave off $2, you are not alone. And you are not imagining it. You are simply living in an America where even a sheet of paper towel can feel like a survival decision. Maybe the scariest part is not that prices are rising, but that we are beginning to accept it as normal. When toilet paper batteries, pet food, or even a box of trash bags all become things that make you stop and reconsider, it is clear that life is not what it used to be. And have you noticed? No one talks about it. No headlines, no shelf announcements, yet you still see it, plainly, steadily, each item pulling you down a little more one by one.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage litigation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.